let's do it real quick. So the first step to anything, we're going to need to get into desktop mode. To do that, hit the Steam button. It'll bring up this little menu. You're gonna wanna hit power, and then you're gonna wanna swap to desktop. It'll switch over. Okay, now that we're in desktop mode, you're gonna need to find your emulator. So essentially, an emulator is what those files are gonna be played on. There are two main types that you really wanna give a fuck about. There are Emudeck and there's Emudeck. Two different things, but they essentially do the same thing. Now, I personally have had both. I started out with Emudeck, had some issues with it, crashed all my shit, and now I have personal beef with it. If it works for you, fantastic. This is not that video. We're gonna be using Emudeck for this video. So now, like I said, I already have Emudeck downloaded, so I can't really show you guys the whole process of when you first download it. However, I can send you into the right direction. So you're gonna wanna obviously Google Emudeck into your web browser, whichever one that you're using. I am using Google for this presentation, just because I fuck with Google. I don't know. Like, look at that coral reef. So now whenever you look it up, you're able to click here. This is their home page. This is wherever you're able to download this app. You'll hit download, and then once it's finished, all your downloads are gonna be into your file manager. Within our file manager, you're gonna have a little picture saying install Emudeck. You're gonna wanna hit yes and confirm. It'll download, and once that's downloaded, it's going to install these 3 folders. These 3 folders are what you're gonna be using to put your ROMs and BIOS into. The one that we're really gonna wanna care about is the emulation folder. You click here, and it's gonna have these. The only ones that you really need to care about is the ROMs and the BIOS. Now, there are 2 different ways that you could be doing this right now. You could be going through the app process, and you're like, whoa, it's asking me to just manually input it on the app itself whenever you're configuring everything. So kind of just tweaking about how you want Emudeck to run. You could be going that way, or you could already have Emudeck downloaded, and you're just like, bro, where the fuck am I getting the ROMs and the BIOS from? I don't know where to put what and what. Essentially the same question, just 2 different experiences, because I know everybody's different, all right? Right now, since I already have it downloaded, I can't really show you guys the screen if you're just now freshly downloading it, but I can show you how to put the ROMs in the right folders and the BIOS into the right folders, and where the fuck to get them from, obviously. What you need to care about is going to be Vim's layer. That is where you get your games from. Now from here, I'm just going to help you guys and download a game so you can see what is happening so you don't get lost. We're going to hit Nintendo DS. This is an example. You can click whatever you want. I'm going to go down here, and we're going to download Pokemon Black version 2. It'll show up, and it's going to show up whatever. You're going to want to hit download. It'll download like that little screen like I showed you before. When this is done, we will come back, and we'll go from there. All right, so now once those games have been downloaded, you can exit out of that tab and open up this tab. This page here has different systems that you can use for BIOS, all the way down for like whatever, PlayStation 2, Xbox. The one that we're using here is Nintendo DS, because that's what we need. So I have already downloaded these files. So once you've done that for whatever systems that you need, you can exit out of here. Now, once you have downloaded everything you needed to from the last 2 pages, the last 2 clips you just saw, we have the 2 different ways that you can import your ROMs and BIOS. Just like I said, you can go through the app, or you can go through the file manager. We're going to go through the app this time to change shit up. So now once your app is open, you're going to want to scroll down and hit import games and BIOS. There's 2 different ways. You have the automatic import and you have the manual import. For the automatic, if you have a USB drive, I'm sure it'll save you a lot of time. So you can hit that one. We are not fancy. I don't have a USB drive yet, so we have to hit the manual copy. So we're going to hit here, and we're going to hit this little white button here, open emulation folder. It's going to automatically open up our file manager for us, so it makes life a little bit easier. So now we're going to go into ROMs, and we're going to find your system. My system is the NDS, so I got to find that. You guys could use the PlayStation, whatever else. It has literally everything in here. Now within the Nintendo DS folder, I'm going to want to split it. So you're going to want to hit this here. It's going to split open it obviously into two. So now, once we've done this, you're going to want to hit home and hit download. This is where you've downloaded all your games and your BIOS, just like the last previous files. So you want to kind of match whatever game to whatever system in your ROM. Here, gotta find it. We have the Pokemon Black. We're going to want to hit selection and just drag it over. I'm going to want to copy it. I like to copy it just in case if anything goes wrong, you still got it into your internal drive. Once here, you're going to want to extract that zip file that you just moved over. All you got to do is tap on it. It'll bring up this screen, and you're going to want to hit that. Once you've done that, it'll bring up a folder, and you can just exit out of this system. It's finished. Now, if your system needs a BIOS file and you need to know where to put that at, you're going to want to exit out of here. So all you have to do is just hit this little emulation button. It'll bring up that page that we saw before. You're going to want to hit the BIOS folder. Now, the part that people mess up on is that they put their folders, they put their BIOS into the subfolders here. Only thing you got to do is just drag and drop, just like we did with those games previously. Drag and drop into this big folder, and Emudeck will automatically put it where it needs to go. So you can just drag your file here and drop it, and then you can just leave out of here, okay? So now once you've finished doing all of that, you can come back into the main menu of Emudeck, and you can check your BIOS checker. It'll show green about what you have correctly done. I have the Nintendo DS here, maybe, if it shows here, and then I have a PlayStation 2 as well detected. The ones that I'm missing, I don't use, so I don't have them downloaded, unfortunately. Now, a thing that I want to make sure you guys have downloaded is if you scroll all the way down, it should have a thing called Emulation Station. You do want to make sure that is downloaded, or else you can't play that. You can't play at all, because when you go on your Steam, it's not going to show up and you can't load in. Okay, so I already have it downloaded, so it's not down here. It just has uninstall. But if you don't have it downloaded, it'll show up. If you do, it'll look like mine. Once that's done, you can get the hell out of here. You can close this bad boy. Once you close out of that, you're going to want to hit return to game mode. It'll load up. It'll load up here. And then you're going to want to find your emulation station. Boom. You're going to want to hit play. It'll boot up. So now this is what emulation station, the emulator looks like booted up. Well, mine looks like this. Yours is going to look like default theme, but you're going to want to scroll over, find your station that you downloaded it for. I'm going to need to scrape it and get artwork to look like this one. How to do that, we can do that real quick. You can hit your little hamburger button here, hit scraper, it's scraped from, and you can select whatever system that you wanted to and hit start. It'll automatically do it for you. But we don't have time to customize that right now. So right now we're just going to click here, click it, see if it works. So I kind of skipped the first part because it's just dialogue. Obviously, if you know, you know. But here's what it looks like in game. And then you can obviously configure about whatever you want, but boom, there you go. So if you made it this long, hopefully your games work. If you didn't, the fuck am I here for? Other than that, if you have any other questions about like how to customize your games, what the games look like, customize the emulator itself, if you have any questions about why it's not working, I'll try my best to help you out. Anyway, deuces.